and I'm sharing my screen. Okay, perfect. So I hope everyone can see my screen. If anybody is facing any, let's say, voice or you can say screen related issue, please feel free to interrupt me in between by unmuting yourself, and obviously you can interrupt me in between as well while I am going through the sessions. Okay. Uh, so just to give you brief this thing context with respect to today's demo session, guys, we will be kind of going slow. Obviously, the first reason is I know there are a lot of people who are from different background, different you can say some of them might be from, let's say, manual testing. Some of you might be, let's say, from selenium background or something. Okay, or let's say so we will go slow. At any point, if you feel, let's say, you have not understood or any concern, please feel free to ask your doubts at the same time. Okay, so just to give you an heads up, our Cypress automation course is already live on Isha's website. So I hope before coming to the session, you might have went through the course content, okay, at a broader level. Okay, so just to kind of give you overview again, okay, so this is a page. I'll share the URL or let's say the detail on the our WhatsApp group again. So if you notice carefully the title, it is clearly saying that we will kind of quickly go through JavaScript, which is JavaScript fundamentals. We will go through Cypress Test Runner. We will talk about API testing using Postman as well as API testing using Cypress. And we will have around minimum 3 frameworks. Two of them will be with respect to UI, and one of them will be with respect to API. Okay. So in this complete course content, you will see that we will be mostly focused on obviously a lot of manual testing concept as well as like automation testing concept as well, because as you guys already aware, right, before you can say starting the manual testing, right, you need to make sure that you are very comfortable, or let's say you should be comfortable with the manual testing actually. Okay, before you start with the automation this thing, right, you should be uh, 8 out of 10 in manual testing concept and manual testing topics, guys. Okay, that's the reason. So overall, guys, I am not going into deep dive into the manual testing topics. At a broader level, I will share some notes with respect to manual testing. What is manual testing? I'll have around 1 or 2 sessions on manual testing, and then I'll jump directly onto the JavaScript fundamental. Okay. So here, if you notice carefully, I have written this like the duration almost like 30 hours, but obviously most of my previous batches which has been conducted were approximately 40 hours, which is like including the doubt solving and all the other sessions. Then here, guys, there is only one prerequisite, that you should be comfortable in basics of programming language, little bit on Java part. So that's the only prerequisite. I'm not saying advanced topic of Java, guys. Basics of Java, like how we are kind of executing our programs and everything. Okay, and it's not like you need to have a good skill set or knowledge on, let's say, all the editors which we are going to see. Okay, it's okay to have the knowledge on one of the editor tools such as Eclipse or IntelliJ, PyCharm, Edit Plus, NetBeans, whichever editor you are comfortable with. Okay, then over here we will have you can say the uh, assignment after every, let's say, sessions. I'll be making sure that those assignments are being circulated over the WhatsApp group as well as over the before we are kind of ending our session, so that everyone are clear what exactly you guys need to do. Okay, so in this case we will have some basics of SQL also. The reason is, if you are considering your end-to-end testing, right, so we need to make sure that we are validating the database as well. So basics of SQL, how we are validating those, how we are triggering the SQL queries. Okay, so we will obviously look on to those concepts as well. Okay, so guys, if you notice carefully, here is the complete course content, which is like present at the bottom, like this section, which is course syllabus, which consists of introduction to JS. So these are the topics which we will be talking about in introduction to JS, guys. Okay. So if you guys are obviously like aware about some of the topic, well and good. Obviously, we will talk on basics and we'll make sure that everyone are comfortable with all the topics of JS. Okay. As Cypress is supporting two major programming language, guys. One is JavaScript and second is TypeScript. And if you kind of compare the difference, it is hardly like around 12 to 15% difference in terms of syntax and structure, guys. Otherwise, both the programming language are like almost similar. But yes, our pure, like our complete focus will be on JS, guys. Okay, so we will be talking only for JS part. Okay. Then we have Cypress introduction and advantage to automation world, how we are installing the Cypress, how we are setting up the project, what is the importance of VS Code as an editor in terms of like installing in Windows as well as Mac, those who are using Mac, JavaScript, whatever we have seen like in the above topics like over here, right? We will make sure that those concepts are being used in the JS syntax and structure. And then our actual topic you can consider, that is Cypress test runner and command line interface features. And then module 6 is something which will be kind of little bit time consuming in terms of all the practice activity. So this will be a lengthy topic, guys, which is obviously including major of the UI component, whatever we see over the UI, how we are handling through the Cypress automation coding part. Okay. Then we will have the API, which is obviously like we will start with the Postman, you can say, uh, tool, which is obviously like manual testing tool for APIs. So we will make sure that you guys are comfortable with the Postman as well. Okay, so I'll make sure that we will have sufficient session so that you will be having good skill set on the Postman tool as well, so that you will have better visibility, better understanding on the API testing, how we are kind of performing with the help of Cypress as a tool, guys. Okay, so we'll make sure that API testing is done with the help of Cypress. And as I mentioned, guys, we will have minimum 3 frameworks, which includes 2 of them will be of UI and 1 of them will be an API. Okay, so out of which, when I say 2 of them will be UI, one will be page object model, and second will be like with the help of Cucumber. Okay, so Cucumber is one of the you can say strategy, or let's say framework, which we are writing in terms of automation, so that the feature files whatever we have in Cucumber is easy to understand, and they can kind of just make sure that all the stakeholders are like having the clarity on what all test case has been covered. Okay, so that's the reason we are kind of following Cucumber model for creating the frameworks. Okay, and then we will have something like into Cypress automation, which is with respect to report generation using Mocha Awesome report. So we have Mocha Awesome report, which is the plugin which is provided by Cypress guys only. And then we will have some more discussions on how we will run through Jenkins, GitHub action workflow, and even we will discuss on how we can trigger the respective you can say pipeline through you can say Jenkins, both, that is scripted pipeline as well as declarative syntax, guys. Okay, so this is the high level course structure which I'm showing. I'm sure that you must be having some queries, doubts, questions regarding same. So I'll take a pause, guys. I would request if anybody has anything to speak, let's say ask any doubts, queries, questions, please feel free to interrupt, and you can unmute yourself and ask your doubts, guys. Go ahead, please. Yes. Anyone, please? If someone is speaking, I would request you guys to be like unmute, and so you can unmute yourself and ask your doubts, queries, questions, guys. Whoever wants to ask anything with respect to course content, timing, or let's say you must be having queries with respect to interview, let's say support, or let's say resume preparations, right? So you can guys ask whatever doubts, queries you have with respect to that as well.
Hi, Swarup.
Yeah, go
Can
ahead,
you
please.
hear, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, please. I
Yeah,
can hear you.
I need to task. I need to ask is how much time will it take to learn complete automation course?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, thanks, Umar, for asking this question. So just to give you my from my previous batches experience, right? Uh, Ideally, it takes around 30 hours on the broader scale, which includes basics of JavaScript, okay, to the advanced concept of Cypress. Okay, since we are kind of focused more on the QA side, guys. Okay, because Cypress has two major things. One is component testing, and second is end-to-end testing. Okay, we will be purely focusing on only one side, that is end-to-end testing, where most of the QAs are kind of working actually. Okay, so overall, I would say it will take minimum 30 hours. Obviously, it includes your practice activities also, whatever assignment, whatever assessment I will give, right? Right after the sessions, you should make sure that that is completed, and you guys have uploaded over the Git or somewhere. Like, I'll share the link also where you need to upload, so that on weekly basis we will do the assessment or something, so that whatever assignment I have given over the weeks, so it is completed or not. Okay, so you must be
Yeah.
having query
you-
regarding the recording part also, guys, I know. So you will get the recording of all the sessions which is going to happen. Okay, so those recording will be kind of uploaded over the YouTube playlist, and on daily basis you will have the recording of the sessions, guys. Okay, yes. Any more queries, guys?
Hello, sir.
Go ahead, please, Leela.
Uh, yeah. So I'll be continuing in this batch because last batch I couldn't join a single class also. So my question is, my current project will be like 50% UI and 50% I should get the data from DB. So in our classes, are we covering this part also, like connecting to DB and how we get fetch the data and how to insert into the data? So
Yeah,
like,
we
yeah,
will
that's
be
my.
as just to give you some insight about Cypress. Cypress is having the support for only JSON as a type of input. Okay, so we will be able to read only the data which is in the form of JSON, and that too in the fixture folder. Okay, if your data is present in the fixture folder, then we will be able to read the data for our test case. Okay, so if you are speaking, let's say we need to kind of connect to the DB. Okay, we need to kind of use some third party plugins, which is obviously uploaded over the npm website. Okay, so what is npm,
Okay.
we will discuss in detail in the coming session. Okay, and once we integrate that particular package into our project, like complete project, we will be able to trigger the respective SQL queries, and obviously the DB username, password, host, and all those details we need to provide. And once we provide that, we will be able to kind of execute the SQL query and retrieve the value and convert that value in the form of JSON. And then you can use those test data into your test case.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay,
Hi,
so
Sarah.
go ahead,
Hello.
please.
Will you give any task during this course, Sarah?
Yeah, I forgot to. Um, so yeah, um, so I will be kind of providing UI as well as API related tasks during the sessions. Obviously, initial 4 to 5 session, I may not give any task. Okay, once we start with the actual UI scenarios with respect to, let's say, drop down, radio button, how we are handling the web tables, how pagination is done, how we are downloading the file, how we are uploading the file. All this UI concept, once we kind of come across, right? At that time, obviously, I'll be kind of giving you real-time assessment in one of the file which will be uploaded over the Git. You guys need to look into those, let's say, assessment or assignment, and make sure that on weekly basis or daily basis, you are kind of uploading over the Git. Okay. So in obviously, I would like to kind of just make yeah, I want introduce myself. My name is Vikas. I have an overall 13 plus years of experience into QA. I have been working with almost like all domains so far. Uh, like working with Cypress last 6 years. It's been almost like 6 years. Um, but prior to that, I have been working with Selenium, even with Playwright and K6 for performance testing, then Jmeter for performance testing, and even I have the exposure on uh, web loading UI and other performance testing tools as well. Also, I have some exposure on security testing using Bubsuit. Then I have used several other, you can say, paid tool for kind of doing the security testing, such as Zap, which is again a open source tool for making security vulnerability, SQL injections, and all those things with respect to security, top 10 OWASP. And with respect to Cypress, it's been almost like I have the exposure of more than like around 20,000 plus test case has been automated so far with respect to Cypress in both API as well as UI. Yes, anybody wants to add anything? If you have any doubts, queries, questions, guys, please, you can ask at the start of the course itself, so that we will have better clarity, visibility on the course content and everything.
Hello.
So I would, yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I have one more question.
Go ahead, Umair.
Yeah, will be will be also doing the mobile app testing automation as well in this course?
So Umair, Cypress is not having the support for mobile, you can say this thing, APKs or let's say IPF file. The reason is Cypress is having one inbuilt command which is called as a viewport. Okay. Viewport is something which is responsible for doing the mobile responsive testing, right? So whatever application or project you are working on, and if that project is supporting the different screen size, okay, when I say different screen size, basically like the web version I'm talking about, okay, in the mobile devices, if that is the case into your project, we will be able to validate that. But if you're asking, let's say I want to validate my APK file, the answer is no. Okay, so APK file or IPF file from Android or iOS, we will not be able to test those. Is it clear?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Yeah, Jay.
I have one doubt. Like you starting say that some basic knowledge are required. So which basic knowledge we require?
Some basic knowledge, as in like you guys are already having, let's say, a little bit expertise on manual testing, correct? What is testing all about? Because since manual testing itself is a you can say around 7 to 8 days course, right? Wherein I can go through all those concepts such as what is boundary value analysis, what is equivalence class partitioning, what is V model, agile model, right? So what I was saying is that particular exposure of manual testing is required. Second, I was saying that little bit background on Java, which is not that what is relevant to Selenium, just basic as in how we are writing a basic programs of, let's say I want to count the number of letters in the particular words or something, right? So those type of programs, how we are executing it, how we are analyzing the output. Okay, only that skill set is required. Okay, and that too is required. The only reason is because we will be obviously writing a lot of code in the JS part, okay, JavaScript part, which will look similar to Java, not exact similar, but yes, the syntax will be here and there in case of JavaScript.
Okay.
Well, my question is related that. So if suppose I see, basically I'm not from coding side. I don't have that much exposure on the coding side.
I'm sorry,
So
can please?
I don't have that much experience in Java, in coding.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
that much into coding.
I'm saying this whatever I am saying is prerequisite. It's optional. It's not mandatory that 100%, because once you have, let's say, attended around 5 to 6 sessions of Cypress, right? You will have little bit, you can say, background on what is JavaScript, and all the commands whatever I'll be using in Cypress, you don't need to by heart, right? So all will be like auto suggestion using some IntelliSense logic. And once we kind of do at least 5 to 6 UI scenarios, right, after that you will feel comfortable with JS, because Cypress itself has its own command. Okay, but the syntax
So
in which we need to write those commands will be JavaScript. That's the whole picture actually.
if suppose that person which he don't have any coding language, that person also doing the Cypress automation. Correct me
Yes.
somewhere.
Yes, 100%. The only thing is you need to kind of, after 4 or 5 sessions, I'll be giving some regular assignment or activities which you need to do over the UI pages, some of the sample pages. Okay, so you guys should obviously try those into your real project. Okay, or else the website which I'm showing you. Okay, and if you're facing any issue challenges, you just need to update, and we need to kind of make sure that you have done that particular assignment.
Okay.
Okay.
And if suppose I'm facing any difficulty or facing any error, so contact at same time. In this session we need to contact.
Yes. Obviously, we can connect one to one as well. It's not like if we are kind of meeting at 9 something, right? It's not that you need to completely wait, guys. Okay, you can just post your query, post your screenshot or error message over the WhatsApp group. Okay, and we can kind of make sure that we connect and we resolve those issues or queries concerns. That's
Yes,
what we
sir.
usually do.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Perfect. I believe one more query questions, Ashwini.
Yeah, hello.
Go ahead, please, Ashwini.
Yeah, this is my first team meeting.
Mm-hmm. Today is the first day on, like, we didn't had the yesterday's demo session. We are having today as the first day on Cypress. You can
Yeah,
ask.
okay. Yesterday class I missed, sorry.
No, there was no session. That's what I'm saying. Today is the first day of
Oh,
Cypress.
okay. So, how many sessions I have? We have?
So totally, I'm assuming between 30 to 40. That's what I have written over here. Okay. So every day we will have minimum 1 hour session. Okay, which includes your queries, doubts, questions as well. Last 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, and minimum
Okay.
I'm think like 35 to 40 hours. We will have
o-
5 days a week. Okay. Okay, and if
Okay.
any, let's say,
Okay.
public holiday or something, I'll post those details over the WhatsApp group so that everyone can have a look onto that. Okay, if there is
Can I
any
get that WhatsApp group? Can I get that WhatsApp group? Can you
yes,
share
yes,
me?
yes,
Can you share the WhatsApp number?
yes. I'll share at the end of the thing session.
Yeah, post
I,
here so that I will take.
sure, Ashwini. I'll share at the end.
Okay.
I see one more query from Shravanti. Please go ahead.
Type the WhatsApp group.
Yes, I'll share that at the end of the session. Once we are let's say done, at the end I'll share that. Shravanti, are you having any query, doubt, questions, or we can get started? Okay, I believe she is writing. You are unable to mute. Unmute. Okay. Yeah, Nisha, please go ahead.
So, Swarup, I just wanted to know like, how it is different from Playwright. Like, what is the differentiation and the similarity between the Playwright and Cypress?
Okay. So, if you consider Cypress versus Playwright, okay, there are slight difference in terms of, because if you have noticed at the broader level, Cypress and Playwright both support JS and TS, but Playwright support more programming language compared to Cypress. Okay, that's the reason Playwright has got little bit more advantage compared to Cypress, I would say. Okay, I'm obviously it's not like I'm let's say teaching you Cypress or having a training on Cypress. I'll obviously talk about pros only. The Playwright has got more advantage compared to Cypress. The reason why we are having Cypress, the major reason is the simple installation, and it has a beautiful support which is provided by Node Package Manager, parallel execution. It is supporting both the API as well as UI. Debugging and logging is very good in terms of Cypress compared to Playwright. Okay, and flakiness handling. And there is one feature, if you have heard about in Cypress, that is called as Cypress Cloud. Okay, which is not provided in Playwright actually. Okay, Cypress Cloud is something which is having some pricing involved. I'll be talking about that particular feature like towards the end of our course. Okay, so which is not being provided by Playwright. Okay, currently Playwright is having the support for mobile emulation, but the thing is you need to kind of integrate with browser stack, Lambda test, Source Lab, those type of third party you can say application. Even in Cypress it is possible. CI/CD integration is obviously very simple. Okay, in terms of both, that is Cypress as well as Playwright. But if you're asking whether which tools to select, right? If you are looking for simple setup and easy to use, right, then obviously Cypress is a choice. Okay, the reason is it is supporting the heavy UI applications also, as well as it has uh, got very good community support, guys. Okay, if you notice Cypress every let's say 14 days or let's say 16th day, there is one major release happening. Okay, if you notice in the Cypress homepage. Okay, I'll show you that as well. Every 13th day or 14th day there will be a one new release. Obviously that release is due to some bug resolutions or some defect or some let's say any deficiency in the previous version. They are trying to resolve and make sure that it has been resolved in the next release. Okay, so that's the reason Cypress has got very good community support.
Okay.
Perfect. And obviously you might have a query saying why play like Cypress versus Selenium also, guys. But overall I would just share that Cypress is actually 10x faster compared to Selenium, guys. If your Selenium test case is taking 1 minute to execute your whole regression suite or something, okay. If it is taking 10 minutes, Cypress will take only 1 minute, guys. Okay, please remember this. That fast Cypress is with Cypress Cloud as well as Cypress normal GUI test cases as well. Okay, any doubts, any queries? So let's kind of get started with the installation and setup. I'm obviously not going into manual testing, guys. Okay, what is manual testing? Why we are doing automation? I hope everyone are, let's say, having the better clarity, better visibility on those topics. Obviously, I'll share some notes, some you can say some content related to manual testing. What is manual testing all about? Okay, but I'm not, let's say, going in detail why we are learning automation. Okay, uh, because I believe everyone knows right now the market is like towards, you can say, major 4 to 5 tools, out of which Cypress, Playwright, Selenium. Then we have other tools also such as Catalan, Prover, but all these tools are paid tools, guys. Okay, so the tools which are open source are Cypress, Playwright, and Selenium, guys. Okay, that's the reason you can consider complete market. Let's say if you are considering 100%, so Selenium has around 45 to like 40 to 45. Then comes Cypress, then comes the Playwright logic, right? Okay, that's the market. You can say ratio which is currently for automation, guys. Okay, QA automation I'm talking about. Okay. So let me kind of quickly kind of just give you quick overview what all prerequisite is required, guys. I would request everyone, if you guys wants to do along with me, I would request please
May I
do.
know how to get the attendance?
I'm sorry, come again, please, Ashwini.
How can we put the attendance? Can you explain?
Uh, which attendance you are talking about, Ashwini?
Like I attended the meeting like that.
Okay, okay. You don't worry on that part. Any which ways, at the end, we will get notified. So just to give you an overview, guys, this
Yeah,
initial
yeah. Just skip those one.
initial
If you joined, it's okay. Fine.
yeah, initial
Okay.
3 to 4 sessions will be kind of purely a demo session, guys. Okay, so the
Okay.
reason for demo session is to make sure that you are comfortable with the language I'm speaking, the speed I'm kind of having. Okay, if you feel anything, let's say you are going a little bit fast or something, you can instantly provide me that particular feedback so that I can obviously try to make sure that I'm going slow,
Okay,
or let's
sorry.
say I'm understanding any queries, doubts, questions, so that I'll try to improvise on that part. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's come to prerequisite, guys. So in prerequisite, if you notice, I have clearly mentioned that the first thing which we required is VS Code. Okay, so you can go to Google and just write Visual Studio download, guys. Okay, you'll go to this link. Okay, so this is the official link where you will see this Mac icon, Apple icon, and the Windows icon. Okay, so whoever are using Mac, just click on this. Whoever is using Windows, please click on this. That's it. Okay, so I'll paste over here the link, the first link, and once you kind of install this VS Code, you are good to go, guys. Okay, now you must be having a query question saying that why we are doing only in VS Code, right? The answer to this question is very straightforward, guys. Cypress, or let's say JavaScript, has got very good support with the VS Code. Even the UI developer, those who are having skill set on JavaScript or let's say TypeScript, they are using full-time VS Code because of better, you can say, flexibility, support, the GitHub integration, even the plugins, the extension which is provided by the VS Code. Okay, so that's the reason we are using Visual Studio Code, guys. Okay. Second is Node.js, guys. So to install Node.js, just go to Google and just write Node.js. You will go to their official website. You can just click on download Node.js. Okay, and once you do that, you will be seeing some like version 22 is kind of getting downloaded. If required, you can go to this official page, and over here you will see that get Node.js for version so and so, for Mac so and so, with npm, or you can just do a download installer. That is also fine, guys. Okay, so the one which I was installing just now. Okay, so two things are required, guys. One is VS Code and second is Node.js. Anybody has any doubt, any query, any questions? Okay, perfect. So my question to everyone, why do we require Node.js? since I have not spoken anything about Cypress, but still I want your thought, your answer. Why do we require Node.js? Yes? Anyone wants to try? Node.js, like obviously Node, JavaScript. That's the full form of Node.js. Why do we require Node.js in Cypress? It's okay if it is incorrect, guys. Whatever you are thinking, let's say in terms of this thing, you can just update. Even if it is incorrect, that is also fine, guys. But I want you guys to let's say give a try, guys.
So as we are using Node Packet Manager, like so that Node nps commands, Node Packet Manager commands.
As we require npm commands, okay? npm stands for Node Package Manager, okay? That's absolutely correct. Since we will be using the npm command, guys, okay? So when I say npm command, basically Node Package Manager command, and all the dependencies which we require in Cypress, guys, will be purely, let's say, depend on the Node.js, guys, okay? So those who are from Selenium, guys, those who have some background on Selenium, if you have heard about something called as Maven repository, okay? I hope some of you might have heard about Maven repository, right? So if you go to their official website, this is the official website of Maven repository. So what this Maven repository is doing, guys? Anyone in Selenium, what Maven repository is doing?
So
This one, yeah?
so they're downloading the latest version whenever it's available. Like
Yeah. So it is helping us to download the latest version of JARS, okay, Java Archive Repository, which is required for our Selenium automation, you can say, project. Okay, if I want to use TestNG in my project, I'll just search for TestNG over here. Okay, I will hit enter, and here you will see that the usage, I'll go to their official page, and after that, I just need to make sure that I will take the latest copy, and from here, I'll copy this 4 lines of code and put it in my pod.xml. Okay. So this, whatever I spoke, right, this is with respect to Selenium I'm talking, guys. Okay. So for Selenium project, I'm taking the help of mavenrepository.com. Okay. So similarly, we are having something called as npmjs.com. Okay. So npmjs.com is nothing but Node Package Manager JavaScript.com, which obviously has all the required dependencies which we will use in future, which Cypress framework will require in this particular website. So that's the reason in our this thing, why do we require Node.js? Because all the dependencies for our framework, it will be, let's say, runtime environment and necessary dependency will be provided to Cypress through npm, that is Node Package Manager. Okay, is it clear, everyone? If Node.js is not installed, obviously we will not be able to trigger any of the Cypress test case. Okay, that's the very first dependency which is required by Cypress for running the actual test case, whether it is API, whether it is UI, any sort of test case, guys. That's a basic prerequisite which is required. Okay. So if you notice over here, we have one more thing which is called as yarn. Okay, this is also one official, you can say, package manager which is provided by which is provided, and with the help of this also we will be able to kind of configure Cypress into our particular local machines, guys. Okay, so now let me show you where Cypress is. So you just search over here Cypress. Okay, you will go to their official GitHub page, guys. Over here you will see the official GitHub page link of Cypress, and here this is the latest version which has been published 6 days ago. Okay, And now from here, we will be able to kind of install using this command, guys. Okay. So we have this command which has been provided by Cypress, guys. Okay. Clear, everyone? And now the same thing, if you want to see in Yarn, this thing, guys. Okay. Just go to Yarn and search for Cypress over here. Everyone are clear? So we have, yeah.
Can I get this ad website in online directly?
Can we get this?
Can I get this ad website in Chrome browser? Can I put the website?
Yeah. You can just Google Yarn. Okay.
Just Yarn. No www, nothing.
Nothing.
Not
Just
a URL.
nothing. Just Google Yarn. You will be able to go to their official page as well. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Ideally, we are not using Yarn. Okay. Most of the time, we are kind of fully dependent on NPM actually. Okay. Like almost whether it is TypeScript, whether it is JavaScript. Okay. Most of the package, whatever is required in terms of dependencies, guys, we are trying to get it from NPM only. Okay. So everyone understood what is the importance of Node Package Manager, guys? First of all, I want to make sure that everyone are clear before I move ahead. Yes, anyone? So what is importance of Node.js, guys, in Cypress? Anyone wants to, let's say, summarize this? What would be the importance of Node.js?
So like we will get the latest versions, whatever the latest changes are coming in the NPS and NPM. So we will get it directly. We don't have to every time reinstall the libraries. Like it will, by default, it will take it from there. Correct?
Here I would like to kind of update you. Let's say if you have installed Cypress 14.0.6, okay. Just now I have shown you, right? Current version of Cypress is 14.0.2, sorry, not 6. So once you do the setup and everything, right, what will happen is like we will have the Cypress of 14.0.6 only. Even if after 1.5 months, once we, let's say, complete our course or something, right, we will have 14.0.6. Okay. To forcefully update that, we need to update one value in package.json. Okay. Then only Cypress will kind of update. Otherwise, those projects are still alive, those who are using Cypress version 10 also. The reason is obviously they are comfortable with Cypress version 10. They are not updating their Cypress, okay, unless and until it's a very like mandatory steps to update. Otherwise, they are running their suit, regression suit, smoke suit, sanity suit, everything in which version? Cypress version 10 also. Okay, unless and until you forcefully update. Understood?
Yes.
So Node.js is required, guys, because it is having a very better, you can say very good support for async call, guys. Okay. What do you mean by async call? Basically, the complete line of code will execute one after the other. Okay. It is not like all the lines are kind of getting executed at the same time. It will not happen in Cypress, guys. Okay. Please remember. So it is kind of, you can consider it is event driven basically. Okay. And it has faster execution time. Okay. Faster execution time because it is using V8 engine, guys. Okay. This is like JavaScript engine basically, which you can consider V8 engine. Then the syntax of JavaScript is basically used for both front end as well as back end. Okay. It's not like for front end we are using some other programming language, and for backend we are using other programming language. No, both will have the same programming language that will be kind of obviously JavaScript, and we will make sure that whether it is API testing or whether it is UI testing, both will support or both will take the help of JS, guys. Okay. And For Node.js, guys, we have a very huge community support, guys. So when I say huge community support, guys, please remember that I'll show you Cypress homepage. From there, you can just make like do the analysis, how much pages that Cypress community will have. Okay, because I'll show you some of the open command which Cypress is, let's say, providing us. Okay, and Node.js has a very better like advantage in terms of you can consider cross-platform, guys. Okay, so when I say cross-platform, basically there is no such dependencies. Cypress itself will support Electron browser, and Electron browser obviously is nothing but Chrome, Edge, Opera, whatever browser you can consider, right? It will be kind of supporting all the browsers. Okay, clear? That's the major reason why we are using Node.js, guys. Clear, everyone? Any doubt, query, questions, guys? Anyone?
Yes, sir. So one question I have. So this will support both headless with headless browser and headless browser.
Headless, both. All the browser headed and headless. So just to give you context, guys, what does this headed and headless means? Headed means you are trying to run the application in real browser when you're running the test. So if I'm running the test, a browser will open, it will perform the actual action. Okay, like if I'm entering login credential, password, all these actions will happen in real time. Okay, second is headless. In headless, what will happen? It will select the browser and it will not open the browser. It will execute all the steps, obviously, and after that we will get the result in the Cypress terminal area, guys. Okay, so that is called headless. So Cypress is having the support for both, that is headed as well as headless. Please remember this. Okay, so only we need to play around with the command, guys. Okay, so obviously we will be able to execute in both the mode. So just to give you brief this thing context, guys, these two things you guys need to make sure by tomorrow you should have this VS Code, and second is Node.js. Okay, so once you install Node.js, guys, just go to terminal area of your, let's say, if you are using Windows, just go to command prompt. If you are using Mac, just go to terminal. Okay, and over here you can just write node -v. So you guys can see that I'm using the older version of Node because the recent version is 22. I'm using the version 18, guys. Okay, please remember the Node version should be 11 and above. If you are using already Node, make sure that the version is above 11. Please remember that. Okay, so to check the Node version, just write a command node-v. That's it. And if you are using Windows, just go to command prompt. Okay, so to go to command, just write cmd. You will see a
So,
black and just write Node.js.
excuse me, I have one query. So when I
But
install, it's showing it's a 10 version. So how can I upgrade to 11 and above?
it is showing which version?
10.
It is showing 10th. So just go to the official website of Node.js. Okay,
Okay.
and select Windows over here.
Okay.
Okay, and once you do that, after that you can just select either Windows over here and click on this .msi. Okay,
Okay.
if you click over here, one file will get downloaded. Okay, and once that file is downloaded, just make sure you do the required step for installing that particular file.
Okay.
Okay.
So the web browser name is, this web browser name is, can you mention again?
Yeah, just select Windows over here. Okay, keep this selection as it is. Okay, and just click on Windows installer. Okay, once you do that, one file will get downloaded in this format, like almost like 25 to 26 MB. And once it is done, I will not be able to install right now because I'm using Mac. So you just need to double click and do next step. That's it.
Okay. So the The main browser name is Node.js from exactly node.js.organization / this is the website exactly.
Yes,
Node.js, that
yes,
is the,
yeah,
okay,
this official
I
website.
will take the screenshot.
Just Swarup, the current version is 22.14, correct? Like it's showing
Yes,
to
yes.
me 20.14. Okay, okay.
See, it's not mandatory that you should have this latest version. This is like you can have 20, 21, 20, 18 as well. Okay, that's not a this thing. But it should be 11 and above. Please remember. Okay, that's a prerequisite for Cypress.
So here also we need to select the version. Yeah.
Yes, version it's required, right?
So
You have selected
showing
the
18, not
yeah. For
so.
me, it is 18. The reason is I have installed like previously. That's the reason. Otherwise, those who will do this installation right now, you guys should see a version as 22.14.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
And those who let's say are comfortable with PowerShell, guys, in Windows, you can just open PowerShell. You can trigger this command if you are comfortable with PowerShell. Otherwise, I would suggest to kind of do this activity. It's very straightforward. And VS Code, guys, it's a simple software. How we are installing other software, same way. No need to kind of do this. Once you install, you will see some see a icon similar to this. Okay, and once you open, we will be ready with our project setup and everything. Okay, so you just need to make sure that VS Code is installed and Node.js is done. So Node.js is installed. After that, I am repeating that you need to kind of go to terminal area and make sure you do check node -v. And once you do that, you will see the respective version. Any doubt, any query, anyone wants to add anything, guys? Okay. Uh, let me kind of show you the official website, guys, so that everyone are clear. So this is the official website of cypress.io. Okay, so if you notice over here, we have something called as pricing. Okay, this pricing is only for the Cypress cloud, which I told you that we have one pricing related part which is coming for Cypress cloud, guys. Okay, but for Cypress there is no such pricing. Okay, only with Cypress cloud, if you are going, there will be pricing involved. Okay, otherwise complete Cypress tool is completely open source. No need of any this thing, any subscription or anything is required. Okay, so in the
I
homepage, yeah, go ahead, please.
excuse me. I tried to get the community support, but it's not. I'm not getting. Can you show me how to get the community support in this website?
Cypress or VS Code?
Here, cypress.io.
Okay, okay. I'll talk about that. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay, so just at higher level, guys, if you notice over here, we are already having the command like over here. Those who are not, let's say, comfortable with running the command, guys, you can install the zip file and install Cypress in their machine as well. Okay, obviously, I'll show you via command only because that's the best approach what we are using, and that's the ideal approach, guys. Okay, and here you will see a recording of 33 seconds, which will show how the UI will look when we are running the test, guys. Okay, this is the actual UI. On the left hand side, you will see the actual test cases name, and on the right hand side, you will see the actual screen. Okay, so this is called as time travel, guys. Okay, time travel as in as the test case is running, you will see the same thing happening on the right hand side. Then over here, if you notice carefully, we have a few advantages. That is, here we are not running test case in respective drivers, guys. Okay, if you have noticed in Selenium, we need to install drivers such as uh, Chrome driver or Gecko driver, right? Some of the drivers. But here, whatever test case we will write, those will be kind of directly executed in the real-time browser, guys. Okay, then whatever test case you will write, you will see something like in this format, and you will do the assertion at the same time, correct? So there is no such you can say validation required. So assertion will do at the same time. if there is any error which is happening, right, you will get some red color alerts which will show that, hey, this particular step is not getting passed. You need to check it one more time. If your test case is, let's say, ran for 6 times and out of which 2 times it is failing, 3 times it is passing, something like that. So Cypress will automatically kind of identify that this particular test case comes under flaky scenario. There is a best support which is provided by Cypress for, you can say, various CI/CD, that is GitHub, Jenkins, Circle CI, Bitbucket. Okay, so this support is provided by Cypress. So we will be able to kind of run the actions, or you can say complete, you can say Jenkins dashboard or GitHub action workflow in using the YAML file, or let's say Jenkins file, or any other file, whichever is supported by respective source code management, guys. Okay, so that's the overall, I would say, advantage Cypress is providing us. Okay, you can see this advantage on their homepage itself. Okay, and if you want to kind of go through the documentation, just click on doc. You will see that the lot of pages, that's what I told you, that the Cypress is having a very good or very vast community support, and you will see all the commands and everything on the left hand side, guys. Okay, so here you will see, because recently in Cypress version 14, guys, they have introduced one more feature called as accessibility testing and code coverage, which has been obviously involved with respect to some pricing, guys, in Cypress Cloud. Okay, that has been released. And here you will see the plugins which is supported by Cypress. Here, if you notice, these are all the plugins, guys. Okay, and this plugin list is the official plugin list. And if you want to see some of the unofficial plugin list, then you need to search it over here. Okay, so you search it over here, you will get the list of unofficial plugin which is not listed over here, but we can use into our Cypress project, Cypress framework. Okay, clear everyone? Anybody has anything to add, ask, doubts, query, questions, guys? So here, if you notice, improve app quality with instant insight using Cypress accessibility or UI coverage. This feature has been introduced after version 14, guys, and that too with Cypress Cloud. Okay, anybody wants to ask any doubts, any queries, any questions? Because obviously I have just shown you the installation part. Yeah, Mukesh, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so like so you are mentioning somewhere about Selenium there. So prior knowledge of Selenium is required here, or like just we can
No,
start
no, no.
without that.
I was just showing you how we are depending on MVN repository in Selenium, right? Same way we are depending on npmjs.com for third-party plugin into our framework. Okay,
Oh, okay.
because I'll give you one quick example. Cypress is only supporting cascading style sheet, that is CSS selector. Cypress is not supporting any of the locators, guys. Okay, so if you want to have the support for XPath in Cypress, so there is a plugin called as Cypress XPath, guys. Okay, so we need to kind of uh, take the support of Cypress XPath. Okay, integrate into our framework, and then we will be able to use XPath as well. Getting my point, everyone? So you can consider this as a third-party plugins which is required. Okay. Just a second.
So that is mandatory. So capturing the locators using this expert is mandatory here also in Cypress, correct?
I'm just showing you one more way. Okay, if let's say you are not comfortable with CSS, let's say your project is strictly saying that no, don't use this, right? So then we need to switch to some different approach of, let's say, selecting using XPath, right? So in that case, we might use Cypress XPath. Okay, so in that case, we will be able to use the XPath locator as well. So ideally, Cypress is only supporting CSS, by the way. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. So Selenium knowledge is not required.
I
If you're
said,
happy, it's good. Yeah, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
yeah. So I want to know, will you also cover CI/CD plugin, like how to integrate the Cypress scripts in the CI/CD plugin, CI/CD pipeline?
So one is GitHub action workflow. Okay, how we are kind of generating the YAML file and how we are triggering that YAML file on particular Git push. Second is we will try to have, you can say, pipeline, Jenkins pipeline I'm talking about. Okay.
Okay.
What all configuration part we need to do for Cypress once it is updated over the GitHub. Okay. The only thing you need to make sure that your project is on GitHub, then only we will be able to trigger that particular pipeline. Okay. You need to provide the credential if your project is private. Okay. If it is public, no need of providing the credential. And even let's say once the test case running is completed, how we will let's say all the stakeholder will get an update via email. So you can consider email setup also, how we are doing for Gmail or any of the company organization account. And if we need to generate some Cucumber report or something over Slack notification or Microsoft Team, once the test is run, because it's not that we are kind of sitting every time whenever the test is running, right? In CI/CD, it will trigger at any point of time. Okay. So we will not wait until it is kind of getting completed. We will just get the final result over Slack, over email, over Teams. Okay. So based on that, we can do the respective analysis. So that is also covered in this course.
Excuse me,
Okay.
what is the purpose of yarn?
Yarn is similar to what is NPM. Okay. Whatever NPM is doing, same thing Yarn is doing. So if you go to Google and just say, hey, I need to download Cypress. Okay. You will see the command which is starting with NPM also, Yarn also, NPM also. So if you notice, we are having 3 ways to install the same thing. So I usually recommend to only use NPM. If you are comfortable with Yarn, go with Yarn also. That's also fine, not a problem. But again, all the dependencies and everything you might need to kind of add using Yarn command.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So yeah, so it's one more way of installing Cypress into our, you can say, machine. Perfect. So
Okay.
anyway, installation part, setup part, creating our first project, we will look into this in the obviously tomorrow's session. Meanwhile, I would request everyone to please go through the official website of Cypress. I want you to kind of have a glance on all the content, whatever it is showing. If you got any doubts, queries, questions on their official website, because 80% of the knowledge with respect to Cypress is present on their official website only, guys. Okay, even I'm talking about the command as well. It's not that whatever command knowledge is required, that also is present on their official website. Okay, so I would request everyone to please have a look on onto this website and just go through this documentation section, guys. Very, very important. Okay. In tomorrow's discussions, we will do a complete detail steps to kind of install, do a setup. And once we are done with the setup, we will start with the JavaScript basics. Okay. And I'll be sharing manual testing notes, because as I mentioned, guys, I will not be going in detail about the manual testing concept. I would request you guys to kind of go through the manual testing concepts, such as what is boundary value analysis, what is V model, what is agile methodology, what is sprint planning, all those things. Okay. Just have a look onto those. If you got any doubts, queries, questions, anything, guys, with respect to that, please feel free to ask, guys. Okay.
Excuse me, can we
Go
get
ahead.
the practice exercises to do by ourselves in Cypress tool?
Yeah.
Can we
So
get
basically,
exam
yeah. So
daily?
basically, what we will have is like we will do a real-time project. You can say UI scenarios. Let's say I'm doing this scenarios, right? This is scenario on one of the website. Obviously, I'll share around 12 plus website which are open source. which include e-commerce, banking, and even like static web pages. You need to make sure that whatever test case I'm doing, right, at the end I'll provide the assignment with respect to same. You also needs to create your project for Cypress and make sure that all the test cases are updated in that particular project. You need to upload that over Git. That's what I told. Every weekend, like every fifth day, I'll be having a review this thing, wherein I'll just make sure that all the test case has been updated by you. It is working fine and it is executing fine with proper reports.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Currently,
But
I'm working on Azure DevOps. So, is it how to link with Azure DevOps to Cypress? Is there any training session that including our training session?
uh, Ajay, can you repeat please if you don't mind?
So currently, currently I'm in my project. Currently, I'm using Azure DevOps.
Okay, you are using Azure DevOps, correct? So
Yes.
you might be using Bitbucket, right? So
No,
uh,
no. Azure DevOps only for a manual testing. So only for creating the test cases in the DevOps and executing the test case in DevOps. So after learning the Cypress, so do I need to connect with
okay,
DevOps and the Cypress?
so as far as I understood, you already have the test cases, let's say, written in Azure DevOps, let's say
Yes,
Azure, right? And you
yes,
are executing them over Azure. That's what you're saying, correct? And
yes,
marking them as pass, fail, not applicable,
yes,
or block, those type of
yes,
status.
yes,
As I know on Azure. So yes,
yes.
obviously, once you are comfortable, you are able to launch your URL and everything via, let's say, web version of any URL, let's say Chrome or anything, right? You will be able to do the simulate the same thing over Cypress as well. That's what I mentioned, guys. If it is possible, after 4 to 5 session, you guys can start, or let's say do a POC on your actual project, okay, and try to kind of simulate around 4 to 5 test cases, which, let's say, recent test cases I'm talking, okay. Just try to simulate and make sure that those test cases are working fine over the Chrome browser, Edge browser, Opera, whichever browser you are using for executing them.
Got it, sir. Got it.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So I believe we are good, guys. Anybody wants to add anything, guys? Perfect. Uh, Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. We'll meet tomorrow at same time. The link will remain same, guys. You just need to join the same link. Okay. And tomorrow we will talk about how we will kind of configure the Cypress project, and we will have around 4 to 5 test cases on Cypress, guys. Uh, Not Cypress, Cypress along with JS, JavaScript. Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect.